Okay, so the next concept is like a JavaScript object methods. The most important interview question is how many ways we can create a object. So do you know what is an object? What is an object? What is an object? Object is nothing but a which will exist in the real world, and each object will have a two things. What are the things? Properties and actions. Correct, right? Property is nothing but a simple value where key and value pairs will be there. And what about methods like function, like actions? What is actions? Actions are nothing but a functions. Correct, right? Okay. So here the question is how many ways you can create a object. Okay, so that is the question. Okay, how many ways we can create an object here? So here mainly I have written some ways. Okay, but there are so many ways you can create object in the JavaScript, but these are the main ways. Okay, if any interview question comes, please tell these ways. Okay, let's go by one. So first, how to create one object? We can say like a let p is equal to person object, something like that. Okay, so whatever the way we are writing here, this is nothing but a, so what is here? Let here keyword. What is a p here? Variable name. And what is the right side? This entire string value. Correct, right? This value, but this value is a object type. Okay, so here object directly I am writing or not? I am writing directly. This is called a literal way. Okay, so what is the object value? We'll call it what we'll call it? Object value. What we'll call it? We'll call it as a object value. We'll call it as a literal. Okay, so this is, since this is a value, we are calling this as a literal way. Okay, so this is the first way. We can call it in a literal way. Object value is nothing but a literal. Correct, right? Object name is nothing but a identifier. What is p here? Identifier. What is this right side? Whatever it is there, this is nothing but a value. This value we will call it as a literal. That is the reason we can create it like this. Okay, this is the first way. Everybody know this approach because we have done this many times. Okay, the second way, let's go for the second way, using the new keyword. Okay, what is the thing? Using the new keyword. So suppose I want to write a, so I don't want to create like this. I want to use a different way. Something like we can go create like a new object. Okay. So inside the JavaScript, there is a class called object. Okay, object. So internally it is equal to our empty quotes. We are writing open bracket and close bracket, right? That is equal to something like this. But there is no property here. Let us print this property. Console dot. Okay. Console dot log of p. Whenever you are going to print something, you are not going to get any output. Okay, so what is the output? We are getting it empty quotes only because there is no data at all. Okay, so what is the second way you can create object? Using a new is nothing but a, what is new? New is a keyword. Whenever you are using a new keyword, internally it will create a new object. Okay, and what is the class name here? Right side we are giving it a object only. So there is a class itself called a object. Very important. But now I want to add one property here. If I want to add any property, I can say like a p dot, and you can write your property name. Okay, and that property name you can give any value. So like this you can add any values, something like this. Okay, so now how many properties I am adding to my object? Three properties. If you are going to print your object, it will have a three values. By default, how many properties are there whenever we are creating it? No properties. If you want to add any property, simple, you can write your object name and property name is equal to something like this. Okay, so this is the second way. So how can you create an object in the second way? Using the new keyword. Okay, so let's go for a third way. This is the most important way. Okay, this is called a function constructor. Okay, what is the name of function constructor? So do you know how to write normal function? Just write a normal function. Function name. Correct, right? I will say person. Okay, I will say console dot log person constructor. Okay, so this is a normal function only, right? We are writing a function and we are writing a function name and just without any argument, something like this is a normal one. Okay, but the important thing is whenever I want to create an object based on the function. Okay, so this is the recommended way is you create that name with the capital one. but normally we'll write our function name using the small letter. But whenever you are going to write a constructor alone, please write in the capital letter. So that is the first requirement. Okay. And second thing is, inside the object, how many properties I want to keep it? Suppose I want to keep it first name and last name, two properties I want to keep it. Then I can write like a here first name, okay, comma last name. You can write any number of properties, comma comma comma, like this. You can write any number of properties. Okay, but this will not, this is just method arguments, right? Function arguments. It will not create any something like this. So whenever you want to create a function argument, inside here we are going to use a one keyword called this keyword already we have learned, right? What is this refers for? Object, current object, right? So this is a function only, right? This is a normal function only. So normal function will have the this context. Okay, so now again I want to store for the this data last name. Okay, so how many properties I have initialized? Two properties. Okay, so whatever the name I am getting it, I am storing that variable into where this dot first name, and whatever the name I am getting the second name, where I am storing it last name. Okay, these two variables no need to be same here, ma. This variable you can keep anything, a b x y z, anything you can keep it in the arguments. Okay, whenever you are keeping arguments, the same thing you have to use it in the here also. Okay, but the important property is this property. Okay, let us create one object here. Whenever you are creating like this, we can create a object. Let p is equal to, we can write like this. Okay, new person. Okay, new person. But usually we will not write a new keyword for normal functions. Are we writing any normal like new keyword? No, only for function constructor we are going to use like this. Here the problem is okay, what is the value I am sending here, John? Where it will go to a, and where we are storing that a variable? First name. And what is second value we are passing it something, where this will go to b. This b will be assigning it to where, which variable? Last name. Okay, if I am, and this p is a object or not object? P is a object. If I am going to print this p, okay, so let us print only p and see what is the data we are going to have it. Okay, so let us going to see this one. Okay, what is the object? First name. And what is the proper value? John. And what is the last name? And what is the value? Do. Okay, so this is exactly printing like object or not? Okay, so this way is called a function constructor. Okay, you are going to create a object using the constructor function. Okay, such functions we'll call it as a function constructor. Very simple. We'll write a normal function only, but we'll keep it as a capital name. Suppose if you are keeping a small name, so what is the error we are going to get it here? Any guess? Now whenever we are using a small, this is a normal function, right? Now this is no more a function constructor. What is the error we are going to get it? You are not going to get any error. This is only recommended way only. Okay, whenever you are writing a function constructor, it is recommended to write only in the capital. That doesn't mean you have to write a capital. You can write in a small, or you can write a capital also. Anything, no error, it will work fine perfectly. But it is recommended to write the, whenever you are creating a new, so this is, we are going to create one object, right? That is the reason it is always recommended to use a capital. Okay, only for function constructors. For remaining functions, use it in a small letter only. Okay, whenever you are using a capital here, the bottom also you have to use a capital on, otherwise you are going to get a error something. Now we are, okay, right? Okay, suppose sometimes if we are missing this keyword, now what will happen? If I am missing this keyword, and if I am going to print this value, any guess what is the data we are going to get it? Okay, any guess? What is the data we are getting it? Okay, whatever the data you are getting here, we are not storing into any of the p object. This object we are not storing it. Okay, that is the reason you will not get any data inside that property itself. That property itself will not be there, and you are not going to store any data. So that is the reason this is very, very important inside the function constructor. Suppose you want to add a age. Now tell me what you have to do it. Again you have to write like a, okay, last name. If you want to write age, this dot age is equal to, I will go and write another property c, and that c I can do it. So instead of writing abc, can I use some meaningful names? Okay, so that meaningful name can be age. So instead of writing c, I can write like a age. So don't confuse, this name is this name, no need to be same. whatever the property you want to print in inside the object, that property name should be in the left side. Whatever this property name can be anything, no problem at all. Okay, yes, this is the meaning. So this is nothing but a third way. So if you are going to use a function constructor, first we have to create a function. Okay, and inside this one, what is the keyword we should use it? This data keyword. Okay, and if you want to write any function also, we can write it. This function demo yesterday we have seen it, right? Suppose I want to write a function. Okay, so something this dot name is equal to something, Mr. or Miss. What is the name here? I will say this data first name. Okay, so if I'm going to call this method name p dot get name, so what is the output we are going to get? It tell me, Mr. or Mrs. Let's go for Mr. Okay, Mr. And what is the name we are giving for John? Yeah, first name will be John, second name will be do something. Let's go here and reload the page. Mr. John something like. Okay, so this is a normal function only. I am not writing any ES6 function where you will lose the context. We are writing perfectly fine. If you are writing ES6 function, now you are going to lose the context, then you will miss the values. Okay, that is fine. So what is the third way how to create another object using the function constructor? Okay, so this is the one. Let us go for the last way. Okay, object. Okay, so there is a method called earlier we have used a new object, right? So there is a another method called object. Okay, so there is a another, let us write like a let p is equal to earlier what we are written new object something like this. Okay, so instead of writing like this, there is a method inside the object, and that method name is a create. Okay, what's the method name of create? Okay, so this create will take one argument, and if you want to copy any data from other object, you can give that object here, but I don't have any data by default. That is the reason I am giving like a p dot, and let's something like this. Okay, console dot log of p. Okay, so whenever you are using create method, so automatically it is going to create a one object, empty object. So let me comment out these two properties. So what is the data available inside the p now? Nothing is there, so we are going to print only empty quotes. Let us see what is the output. Okay, only object or null is defined, function dot create. Okay, so what is the error we are getting it? Something, let us pass some value here, null. Let's see. So this time, okay, so whenever we are not giving any argument, it is throwing an error, right? Here either you have to give a null or you can give a pass a empty also, there is no problem. Okay, something like this I can pass it, and let's go and reload. So by default I'm going to get a empty property, but I want to add in new properties. How can I do it? Simple, p data first name, p data last name, p dot age, p dot salary. Like this you can add any number of properties. Once you create this line, after the remaining thing everything is same only. You can access like a property name and you can print the property name, everything will be same. Okay, so let us go for the, okay, so let us go for the ES6 properties. Okay, so let's go for the last one. This is not required. We'll cover them. Okay, so here how many ways we have seen so far? Tell me. 4 ways. Okay, first is a literal way, second is a using new keyword, and third is using the function constructor, and fourth one is using the object.create. Okay, and there is another approach also is there using the class. Okay, so this class, this is nothing but a, I'll simply show this one, but I'll explain it in the next class. Okay, where we are going to talk about like what is this class keyword and what is this name, what is this constructor, something like this. Okay, so there is another way is called using the class based. So you are going to create an object for the this class. Suppose here I can create like a person class. Okay, and for this person class I'm going to create a object something like this. So this way I will explain it. For now just simply write like a, so there is another way also like using the ES6 syntax. That is another way.